This is a market review for January 3rd, Friday, January 3rd, 2025. On the daily time frame, we can see shortened week because of the bank holiday on Wednesday. This was the first up closing day of the week. The weekly candle looks like this now, which is a little interesting, but favoring bullish next week. Honestly, I don't have many reasons as to why price would reverse on a day like today. In terms of a high time frame, I expected it to retrace, but not this much, if that makes sense. Um, so looks like this was the target, this low that we created on the 20th for the week, maybe even for this leg here. Going down to an hourly time frame. If we look at overnight, so Asian, London were in consolidation. And so when London is in consolidation, what we go for in New York session is the accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? So this is accumulation. And it seems that in the past couple of times this has happened, any low that has been taken is counted as manipulation. So you can see 7 o'clock's candle here takes out this low barely. Actually, both of these lows. Takes it out barely, but it's enough for it to count apparently. So this is the manipulation, and then distribution is up here. If we go down to the 15-minute, I'll go through everything so it's looking confusing now. But okay, so this is 7 o'clock. This is when pre-market for New York starts. You can see here accumulation. New York starts by clearing out these lows here, but not this one. Just these two, or three here technically, but that's enough of a manipulation, apparently. Again, this is all speculation, just observations. I'll come back to all these order blocks. Those are on lower time frames. Looks like we have constant encroachment of this. Should have made all those 1 minutes. Constant encroachment of this sell side wick there, getting reacted off of 7:30. Playing bullish, we retrace at 8:30. 8:30 usually spools in the opposite direction of the daily move. That's usually how it works because it's allowing smart money to get in at a better price. With today being only having 10 o'clock news and having no other news driver before that 8:30 was used for that. I think, again, just speculation. This is based off of what I've seen the past. So we start playing bullish, and then market opens, and it continues that bullishness up until this new day opening gap, and then we see it come down to this 15-minute, which is also a 5-minute fair value gap at 10:15, and then we start the bullish move for New York session. Wow, the second after the retrace. Lunch retraces down to constant encroachment of this 15. Look at those wicks, not even touching it, and then respecting it and pushing higher. And then we stop up here at the new week opening gap. Down on the 5-minute, we can see better the accumulation and then the manipulation of New York, respecting bearish PD arrays to get down here below this low and immediately turning around. There's no SMT here, but if there was, that would be a great setup. This must be a 1 minute because I don't see anything there. See price go up, pump once and twice, and then here we go, the 8:30. 8:30 spools in a direction to allow smart money to get in at this 5-minute bullish order block, constant mean threshold. and then price starts playing bullish from there. Market opens, it just rockets up. The first 30 minutes, the opening range is not really too helpful because there was no news driver before market open. So what I should have done is what I planned on doing is waiting until 10 o'clock, waiting until that 10 o'clock news driver came out before taking any action or making up a bias, a solid bias. But after that news came out, price came up and swept this high, retraced down to this 5 minute, which is also a 15-minute fair value gap, and then starting and resuming the bullish move for the day. Here, price action is not too clean, but once we hit 11, this macro, the sweep below these lows, kind of cleans everything up. Our target for AM seemed to be these highs, yesterday's highs, because once we hit those, well, we didn't do anything, kind of meandered back down to this 15-minute here. With how little we swept this high over here, I would have expected a deeper retrace, but we were very, very balanced through here. So it kind of makes sense to only come back to this high, because bearish delivery, bullish delivery, return to its balanced. So the algorithm kicks back in, continuing our move bullish. I believe there's something here on a 1 minute time frame, which I'll get to after. We stop at constant encroachment of this new week opening gap, and then end the week and the day by returning to the daily range. So now on the 1 minute. We can see price respecting bearish arrays. Here we have a bearish order block mean threshold that's gets respected once and twice, even after the trend is changing. And then after the after manipulation happens, which is the taking of this low and this liquidity here, price started playing bullish by coming back down to this and then playing off of constant encroachment of it, playing up and using fair value gaps to support it along the way. Looking at all these closures and wicks, they're perfectly either on the quadrants or the highs and lows. We hit the top of this new day opening gap, which happened at 9:30, and so with known 8:30 news driver, price starts spooling lower, respecting fair value gap, fair value gap, fair value gap, all the way down to this 5 minute bullish order block before resuming bullish action. If we look here, even these closures are almost perfect for this on the 1 minute time frame, even though it is a 5 minute array. After this, we start playing bullish. Market opens, continues that bullish trend. We get an SMT of these highs, which causes a small retrace here. And like I said before, 10 o'clock is when there's news, so I should have waited. However, I entered off of this SMT and the re-entry into this fair value gap. So I entered off of this candle here. I would pull up the executions, but it's on, I trade minis, not, this is where I chart. So I entered here, price came up and then came down. This was an SMT because ES took this low, but NQ didn't. And then we can see price start chopping, kind of just marking time until 10 o'clock, which is when I should have waited. Because if I waited for 10, I would have saw this move, this high getting taken, playing off of Tuesday's first presentation here with an SMT. So, and then it sold. It's still in the macro, SMT, higher time frame confines to turn around. And then we get this here. So this is what my entry would have looked like. I would have entered at at the lowest, and I would put my stop above the highest array. My first profit would have been here. I would have gotten one profit and then stopped out at break even. Over here, my final would have been probably 50% since it's Friday. I wouldn't have aimed for more, but would have made money instead of losing money if I had waited until what I told myself and waited until that news driver at 10 o'clock came out. Now, after that, price resumes the bullish price action that it had in the morning in the pre-market, respecting bullish arrays, kind of chopping around, and then this 11 o'clock macro takes this low. I don't know if this is an SMT. Let me check. What time is it? 11. Okay. No, it's not an SMT. Maybe it's an SMT of this low. Yeah, technically it's an SMT of this low, but we're not going to mark it because it doesn't seem right. So with this move, our target is that old high over here, Thursday's high. And then once we hit that, we start retracing and we react off of the consequent encroachment of this 15-minute fair value gap. If we look at consequent encroachment here, price respects it once, twice, 3 times, and then starts playing bullish again. Now, in PM session, we started off by filling this fair value gap, leaving this one as a breakaway and this one, expanding upwards, and then coming down again, creating this SMT. Now, I would still be playing bullish here, continuing the move that started in AM. My entry would have been on this inverse fair value gap, and the reason I would think this would be an inverse is because price entered once, gave a reaction, which kind of validates it as an array, and then we drive through it here, closing up here, and then re-entering it on this candle wick. So this would have been my entry here. Right there, my stop probably, I would have definitely had it below the low. I probably would have liked consequent encroachment of this candle. And my target would have been the entry of that. I don't know if I would have had any profits because there's not much. I mean, I could have put a profit on this depending on how the return was for that. So price came up, perfectly hits the low, and then the consequent encroachment of this new week opening gap, and then starts fading back, returning into the daily range to end the week, using fair value gap, fair value gap, fair value gap, fair value gap to support price. As we can see, fails to get to consequent encroachment, consequent encroachment, consequent encroachment, and then we get multiple tags on consequent encroachment here throughout the downward turn to end the week. So looking over back on a higher time frame, with us taking this low this week and then reversing on Friday. I mean, a reversal on Friday, or at least some sort of a retrace, is expected. However, this retrace is what? It's like 70% of the weekly range, which is a little much for my liking in terms of a retrace goes. That more makes me feel like a reversal, especially since we swept this and immediately took off the other way. The beginning of next week, Monday and Tuesday, will tell. I will be looking to trade those days because it is non-farm payroll week. So Thursday, Friday are going to be very, very touchy. I'm looking to get most of my trading done Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Expecting I don't know if it's going to be a premium or a discount gap, but overnight of Monday will tell me where to look. I am looking to play that one bearish, maybe take out these lows here so that I can play an extension up above these highs, and maybe it's probably too much of a stretch to get to all-time highs next week, but I would like to aim for these. So that's what the markets are looking like on Friday, January 3rd, 2025.